Hello again. We're going to solve a system of linear equations using the TI nspire. So here's the nspire. We're going to use the menu key a lot here. So what you're going to want to do, there's a couple different ways, I'll show you how, is we want to make sure that we are in a calculator, so we want to make sure that we want to add a calculator. So you add calculator. Next, you're going to want to hit your menu key, so hit your menu key. And you will go and find algebra. And once you find algebra, as the screen focuses, we will go down to solve a system of linear equations. Click on that. We're going to solve a two-equation system, so we hit that. And what we'll end up with is, up here we have linsolve, that's the name of the function for the calculator, and then it has a place for two different equations, and it's telling us what variables we're using. We're using x's and y's. So now, all we have to do is type in the equations, just the way that we see them. Let's say we're solving y equals 2x plus 4, and then we need to arrow down, and then we'll get y is equal to x plus 3. I believe this was the example that we did in class. If we hit enter, we'll get -1, right up here, -1, 2, as the coordinates for our points. -1 refers to the x, and 2 refers to the y. So it's that simple. All we have to do is a few different things. Now, if we want to do this in a graph, the easiest way to do this would be to hit the home key again, and we want to have a graph here, so we'll move over to where it says add graph to a new document. And never mind that I have 7 different documents open. What we have to do in this case is here we have to use function form f of x is equal to mx plus b. We have that. 2x plus 4 is the first equation, and then we'll have to tab to open up the line again. We'll get x plus 3 as a second equation, and what we're looking for is this point right here, the point of intersection, and that's going to be our solution to the system. Now, up at the top here, everything's kind of crazy, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab on to one of the labels, and I know this has the smaller slope, so it's not rising as fast, so I'll put that down here by that equation, because this equation right here has a slope of 1, and I know it has a y-intercept of 3. Now, what we'll want to do is hit graph, or excuse me, we'll hit menu, and then in this case we'll want to go down to analyze graph, and we can use our intersection here if we wanted to. To do that, if you hit open, you're going to see it says lower bound. So what we want is you just have to move this dotted line, hopefully you can see well, to the left, hit the center button of the touchpad to lock it into place, and then it'll change to upper bound, and then you move it past, and as you can see, a point has appeared here. You hit OK, and there's the point. It's kind of messy, so what I'll do is I'll grab it and I'll move it over to here so we have a much better view of it. -1, 2, which is what we got just really quickly, that's what we got here. -1, 2. Another way you can do this, you can hit menu, go all the way down to geometry. This is probably the easiest way to do it. You don't have to worry about making that alleyway. We go to points and lines, you go to intersection points, And up in the corner here, you can see it'll say intersection points. And it says click on the first graph, then click on the second graph. So I'm going to go down here, click on the first graph, and then that changes, kind of gets highlighted, blinks a little bit. Then I'll go to the second graph, it highlights it, it bolds it, hit there, and we got another point, and I grabbed that point and moved it over there. It's the exact same point. So there are a couple different ways that you can go about finding intersection points, and we can solve the system. But just really quickly, if I wanted the graph and the axis, well, I guess it doesn't really work that way. Oh well. I was hoping that we could do that, but we're going to have to find different ways of doing that. However, solving a system, piece of cake. You could use a graph, or you can use the calculator for that.